Testing. Testing. Welcome to episode 154 of Beauty Magazine, the Sims 4 story of a once thriving, now struggling fashion magazine. I am starting this episode just a few minutes after we finished episode 153. I'm going to try to keep the intro a little bit short. Let's jump back into the way I usually do this, just quickly though. Our story features Sims 4 gameplay. Occasionally we build stuff, like in the last episode when I messed with my ice cream place. And sometimes we use this website here to make magazine covers and pretend articles and whatnot. And I've been kind of working on this intro thing here. Beauty Magazine, the Sims 4 story of a once thriving, now struggling fashion magazine. Our magazine is currently 10 years old. The year is 2008. Disclaimer about it being a fake magazine. Our main 8 Sims are writers and our editor-in-chief. And the one on here is just a cover model. And I made this in the last episode, so let's see how this goes. Welcome to Beauty Magazine, the Sims 4 story of a once thriving, now struggling fashion magazine. Our story takes place in the year 2008. At that time, the magazine is 10 years old. The first issue featuring Penny Pizzazz was for March 1998. Beatrice Ullbright created Beauty as a magazine that was about individual beauty and beautiful things or places, not just models or celebrities. Her early issues had simple, clean covers without all the clickbait-type titles. Her cover models were a wide range of people. Some were models or actresses, while some were everyday people of different ages. In 2004, a large publishing company run by Simon Barnes called Regency Publishing acquired Beauty's publisher, Chambers Publishing, as well as Cloud9 Publishing. Simon called Beatrice and Blush and Bloom magazines Iama Oldervich and Faison Beach into his office for a meeting. He stated that due to Beauty having more sales, it would survive as the title, while the content of Blush and Bloom would be folded into it. Beatrice would then be editor-in-chief with Iama and Faison working under her. The last 4 years have been tough. The new magazine has struggled to grow in sales. The two staffs did not gel well. And then I made a collage of the early years of Beauty Magazine. Our March 1998 featured 2 different pictures of Penny Pizzazz before and after she cut her hair. And then she started a trend with that because in this world, Posh Spice and Rihanna don't exist. So it was people taking the penny plunge that had the trend going. And then we had Lexi St. John, who was a new actress on a new soap opera series called Bright Bells, which was about a magazine. We have Brasida Puentes, the handyman, handy person. Stephanie Foster, a maid. Haley Miranda McKenzie, who was Penny's friend from the modeling agency, but she got fired because she had a doctor's note saying she couldn't wear heels for a few weeks, and, well, they just said, hit the road, we don't need you. But, turns out that both Penny and Haley ended up going to a new modeling agency, and these days, Haley Miranda is the manager there at Flamingo Modeling Agency. Then we got Bella Goth. We got Mila Munch. We got Lilith Vittor, just kind of out doing their own things, caring for their families. Monica Lopez singing in public. One of my Sims, Allie Lynn McAdams, who runs a department store and an adoption foundation, making snow angels. A random sim that I made called Bianca Bliss, trying out some ice skates. Valentina Nadir from the was a Love Struck pack for Valentine's Day. And then for the anniversary issue, we had Penny Pizzazz and the dress designer Helena Rose on the cover. And then Faye Harris was at a department store, and Beatrice Ullbright, caught a picture of her, like, smiling at herself in the mirror. Mae Prescott made a cake for her kid for Mother's Day. So, May for May. This is before I knew she was, like, the principal at the school. Katrina Caliente out by a waterfall. This young lady here, smiling while she's reading a book in the library. This was the early days. Beatrice was, putting a magazine together herself, doing, she was taking photographs of things she liked. She really was, making an independent magazine with a small publisher. And when 6 years later, when the merger happened, she was, kicking butt on Blush and Bloom sales. But Simon Barnes didn't seem to understand that it wasn't the same kind of magazine. And he still doesn't. And I mentioned the McAdams Adoption Agency. Well, Tess Schaefer was one of the first people to be adopted from that, and it happened to be Allie Lynn adopting her herself. This was like, Tess was like 17 years old, maybe even 18, but finally going to regular high school. And now she's an adult, she runs the adoption agency. Dahlia Loden with a cup of cider. Saprea Delgado cutting a pumpkin up, or, doing the jack-o'-lantern. This young lady here, Blossom Greenberg, is applying for college. Clara Bjergsen with a nice holiday fireplace. Nancy Landgrab out on the town for New Year's. Jenna Akiyama building a snow pal. And then we had our second anniversary issue. Once again, Helena Rose made a dress that for Penny to wear. And then I haven't made any covers after that for those early years. But here's an example of Blush and Bloom with all the clickbaity titles. And then Gloria's Guide is like the Vogue of our story. They have like all the sales. It'd be like Macy's versus, a tiny, I don't know what kind of store you'd think of, but, I suppose it'd be kind of like Meijer. Meijer started out in Michigan, and they've only recently started getting into they've got about 5 or 6 states worth of stores right now. They're kind of like a super Walmart. Started out as Meyer Thrifty Acres, with the groceries and the regular stuff. And then after recently being fired by Beatrice, I Am a Older Vitch started up Fashion Passion. Faison Beach started up his Faison Revista magazine, which, according to Google Translate, Revista means magazine. So, hopefully that's what that means. And then Poison Polish is the employees that used to work at Blush and Bloom, the staff writers there that didn't come to work for Beatrice, started their own magazine recently called Poison Polish with a different publisher that did not get bought out by Simon yet. And then very recently, Siobhan Fires, and that's how I pronounce the name, and I don't care if that's how it is or not, that's how I pronounce it. I don't do Siobhan or whatever. She's supposed to be our May cover model, but suddenly she started her own magazine called Paragon. And then this magazine that's kind of fairly new is Holly Glam. Kind of like Hologram, but different. And they got Brittany Cho on the cover. And then I'm going to pause for a second. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to flip through these pages and just give enough time for somebody to, like, pause if they come back to this. You know, it would probably help if you're on a computer to read it. If somebody actually needs me to read them, they'll have to post to the chat and say so. If somebody does, I wouldn't mind going back and reading them. But in the interest of time, I'm kind of skipping it. This is a little bit harder to read because I had to shrink it. But the gist of it is, she's our fashion editor. She's always got a midlife crisis. She lost her family in a faulty oven caught fire, and then the toxic smoke from the faulty part killed her family, except for her 1-year-old niece. She now has adopted her niece. And then after getting evicted from her apartment, she moved to the Baby Boom house, which in our story is in California, not Vermont. And she's making apple baby food. Just like the movie. Although we were doing the apple jam instead, but, you know. Beth Birkenshire is our hair and beauty editor, who, after years of her father, harping on how, women can't do this job, you shouldn't do this job unless you can make money, blah, blah, blah. She went to college and became a journalist, and then started writing the hair and beauty articles, and even that was hard for her to get through college with, but she kind of put herself through college doing it. But she wanted to be a cosmetologist, and he was always discouraging of that. Recently, now that she's out on her own and making money at the magazine, she started apprenticing at a salon in Brooklyn Bay. Well, a short time after that, her mother Bridget showed up at that salon and took a job as a receptionist, also hiding it from Byron. But recently, some events happened where everybody has reconciled and told the truth about everything, and it turns out that Byron had a father who also discouraged him from doing anything that doesn't make money, like he wanted to be an artist, and but now there's a brand new baby, so Beth now has a baby sister all of a sudden, so named Brindle. I named her after Brindleton Bay. And then we just finished up. Well, not finished, but we were playing as Caroline Diamond and her wife Brooke Water Creek with the ice cream shop. They're currently busy with their 2 sets of twins that were born on the same day. In the last episode, well, Timothy Brooks, he may or may not still be the nanny, but he's not living with them anymore because at the romance festival, he hooked up with the guru, and she asked him to move in with her, and last we heard, he called one of these two, and he's like, I found a ring, she might be proposing to me. So, yeah, Timothy Brooks ran off with the romance festival guru. Was it Natalie or something like that? Or Natasha? And then Genesis Water Creek is a sister that Brooke never knew she had. Both Brooke and Genesis are children of Dorothy Water Creek. Dorothy Water Creek grew up over in Mount Corimbi area in a like a foster home type situation, and unfortunately both of these two sisters are the result of unwanted pregnancies, to say the least. Sexual assaults. And Genesis was taken away while Brooke was able to stay with Dorothy and be raised by her after Dorothy was able to get out of, be old enough to get out of that home and raise her own baby. But only recently did Genesis come back into their life. So she's living with Brooke right now, helping out with the baby and babies. We got Misty, a romance writer. She hooked up with Wally after he came over to install some grab bars in the shower. And they're currently engaged. They have not gotten married yet. Cassandra Elaine Powers is our fitness writer. She met Marcus Flex at the gym. They're engaged, but it's really hard to get anywhere with him because even when we go to the romance festival and stuff, it's like pulling teeth trying to get him to show up. So, and then her dad died of a heart attack when she was younger, and she's always worried that her mother has health issues because she overeats, because she's depressed. But at the same time, her mother also goes to the doctor really regularly and gets checked up on, and the doctor assures them both that, her mother is fine. She might, she just kind of is bigger than usual. She's bigger than most people. She's still exercising. She's still eating good stuff. She just occasionally eats a little too much of it. And our, this is Cody Polar, our photographer. And that's it for this for now. So, I'm sorry that takes so long, but it just does. Okay, and this is what we left off on. They're back at the house with the babies. But, we're gonna do something else. I don't want to keep doing this one for today. So, what I didn't mention, because it was in the part where you're supposed to pause it and read it. Beatrice Ullbright has cancer. Nobody knows that except her doctor, and the lady who moved in with her. That's her, like, her positivity coach. Bobby Wynn here is also currently a survivor of cancer. And she moved in, and they do yoga and stuff like that, and keeping her spirits up. Beatrice is not going to die from the cancer. I'm not having her die from it. But it's keeping her from working at the magazine without, other than just checking in once a month right now or so to, when the issue's ready to go and when it's just starting off type of thing. This here is the office of Chambers Publishing that used to publish our magazine with Charlie Chambers. Her brother there is Colt Cooper. He drives a truck in American Truck Simulator when I play that. He's driving for like the 4-2 Print promotional products company that has like paper loads and office supply type things. And, occasionally some other loads. I'll probably have him do some loads for like the paper companies too. Iowa is coming out soon. I don't know when, but when it does, we will be driving the truck again during these episodes, at least for the Iowa event, where when they release a state, they have you drive one load to or from each of the cities in that state, and you have to do at least 100 miles or longer per trip. So sometimes it takes quite a few trips to make that happen, especially now that they're getting into smaller states that don't have that kind of distance between the cities. So, but we did do Missouri event a few weeks ago when Missouri came out. But yes, Beatrice is taking time off. She's taking her vacation time. She's got lots of sick days. She's got, she's the editor-in-chief. She's never taken a lot of time off, so she's just kind of taking it now. She's cutting back. She's trying to refocus. That's probably what she's telling Jocelyn, that she's taking some time off to refocus, and she trusts Jocelyn to do the job without her. And that is kind of what I want to get into right now. So I mentioned in the last episode when I came back from getting coffee one of the times, because I had left and I had said something about, I'd love to have Caroline and them run like a cupcake shop too, but that's a really lot of things to have someone doing when they basically have quadruplets right now. And I don't think having them do 2 businesses and writing for the magazine and taking care of them babies, I don't think that's really feasible. But I have other characters that also are food sims that I made over the years that are supposed to be cooking, and well, none more important to me than Claire Huron. I have had her in, she was, I believe, my first Sims 4 sim that I wanted her to cook every dish at that time, back in 2018, when I first got the game. I then added her as a character when I was doing the Stu Spudman series. Actually before that, I added her into World Without You. And the story was, and I was adding in the character of Stu Spudman in honor of my buddy Stu that online streams, or at least he was, as part of the community of streamers that I watched over the past, 3 years or so. But I had him as like, she's telling a story to my main character in World Without You about she once had a crush on this guy, and unfortunately her best friend got him first. And then later on, that best friend ended up dumping him. But by then it was, wasn't going to happen. But then after that, Stu Spudman went off on and had his own adventures in American Truck Simulator and in The Sims here, but not in this world yet. But Claire Huron became a teacher at the high school, and my whole thing was, all along I've wanted her to be able to run a culinary academy and teach the cooking skill. Finally, you can do that. The Huron Culinary Academy, you can use the board to teach it, or you can just mentor a sim. But and there's that, the whole like cooking together interactions and all that. But anyway, we're gonna have her fill in for Caroline a little bit on occasion. Not yet though, not yet. But she's gonna be, a food writer for the magazine, just like Caroline. Anyway, let's get in there, and we can talk a little bit more about Jocelyn, because we've had a few days off of not doing the Jocelyn character. And hello to anybody who's watching, and If you were watching the other stream, welcome back. So that's Pierre there. I moved him in because I want him to go. When we go to his restaurant, he doesn't show up because he's the owner. So it's kind of hard to do my storytelling with him involved if he's not there. But the story is that Jocelyn Lattimore is our second in command here, and our third in command, because she's got both job titles. She was a college intern. She was never interested in fashion. Here, let's just read her page. She was an intern that was never into fashion or beauty. She did the internship at beauty for college, impressed Beatrice with how well she did and how much workload she could handle. She graduated college, and Beatrice, asked her, "Hey, can you stay and work for us?" And at least until she finds, a journalism job. She wanted to be a journalist instead, for news or things like that. Beatrice, after butting heads with Iama Oldervich and Faison Beach, first fired Iama and asked Jocelyn if she wanted the job. And then after, convincing her that she can do the job, Jocelyn took the job, and then soon after, Beatrice fired Faison Beach, and told Jocelyn, "Hey, can you just take on a little bit more here and do his job too? I believe in you. I'll give you both salaries," which, that's kind of awkward because some other people at the magazine might be jealous or think that they deserve a job, a promotion, something. And Jocelyn has not always felt right about taking these jobs either. But now all of a sudden she's got these jobs, and Beatrice hasn't told her, but she's pretty much leaving Jocelyn alone to do these jobs, with the exception of 1 or 2 days per month. Not counting when the game has her show up out of nowhere because, I gave everybody residence keys and all that. God, I am not coming up there, dog. I have already let you out enough times. I don't care what you're barking at. I'm not coming up there. Nope, he's just going to have to poop on the floor. I've had enough. But anyway, so recently, it's only been a short time here. Jocelyn's only just started doing these jobs, and she's unknown. Nobody really knows her, but she recently started taking an interest in the fashion and beauty because she wants to do her job well. She's not gonna, she's not gonna take this job and then, fluff it off and just, well, I've got the qualifications, I guess, and I'm going to get paid for it. No, she's going to take it seriously, and she's going to work her butt off for it and do the research. And, well, she started to get into fashion and buy clothes and study trends, and she's doing the style influencer career. I've got her doing the trendsetter instead of the stylist. Dana did the stylist portion. We are currently on level 7. And we've done a few of these style boards already. Got one complete over here. Speaking of which, we haven't done the impressions yet. Let's get started on that. Does she work today? Yes, she does. So she started to get into the fashion. She interviewed all of our main characters as if she were a journalist, not a HR person. Because she is their boss now. But she wanted to get to know them and, like, why'd you come work for the magazine? Why do you like writing what you write? That kind of thing. And, what's your background? And when she went to interview Beth at the salon, well, she was gonna, get a trim of her long hair, and, after flipping through a magazine and pointing at a picture, I didn't see what one she pointed at, but apparently she pointed at one that doesn't have a ponytail. And then, as we turned over like this to look at her while she was getting her makeup done, and out of nowhere, over here, while we were at the salon, I saw a shoulder and an arm of a familiar outfit that her mother wears. Well, her mother doesn't have long hair either anymore. Her mother has an even shorter pixie type cut. More bowlish. I mean, they probably both have the same style. It just, hers is combed over a little more. Might be a little longer here. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Neither of them have long hair anymore. But while she's doing this stuff, she's also been doing some style columns and things, and starting to get noticed online, and these other magazines are starting to notice. Jocelyn Lattimore, Deputy Editor-in-Chief. Jocelyn Lattimore, Managing Editor of Beauty. They're like, who is this? And they want her. They want to at least try to get her away from Beauty. Because, hey, it's a rival. You always go, they're going to go after their rivals and try to pick them apart.
Just as soon? Ooh. Aha.
Rocky Brewster is another one of my 7-year-old Sims. She was my writer, writing children's books. Occasionally, you will see she still gets the royalties from because it's a copy of that Sim. She was writing like the Pirates of Willow Creek, a children's book. She's a writer here. Basically, anybody that I find out is a writer has been coming here as either an employee or an intern, one way or another. Now we have the business thing. One of the things we have is down here. This is the business section where interns can come, and when we open this, people come over, they research, they write, they read, they be friendly. And we sometimes will mentor them in writing, and, it's Jocelyn's way of giving back. She's trying to encourage people and let them come give writing a try and journalism a try, and, it's like she got her foot in the door here unexpectedly, and she just giving other people a chance. And I say that because I say it's down here because this is our train case building that our main boardrooms are this one up here, and then the secondary one down here. And Jocelyn's office is this one, and Beatrice's office is this one. But it has a door like this where when it's open, Beatrice can talk to her, but it can close for when, there's an appointment or something going on in here. So, Beatrice can talk to somebody in private. And then Julia Wright, way back in the early episodes, she's a mixologist usually, but she and Becca something or other came over as sleepover guests, and that's when I got the whole notion of, hey, they're interns, they're college interns coming over, and then I tried out the roommate thing with Dallas Schaefer. Turns out she's an alien. So I got rid of her. By the way, I was thinking about it earlier today. There's like a lot of room on here. I could, if I wanted to, I could turn this into like a mall. If I just took you'd have like a whole tier here and the third tier here. There's lots of room. This is basically run, almost like a mall already. So if I had like copies of this, just keeps going over and, yeah. One of these days, I might turn a copy of this building into a mall. Imagine that, a fashion mall inside of a train case. Oh yeah, my big W trees. Yeah, but the question is, does this building actually transform? I wish I could find out. Anyway, let's get back down here. But Julia was always complaining about the noise and stuff, so I just now that some of the other ones are not in the house currently, I just added her to the house. So I'm tired of dealing with her bad attitude.
Pinoblar, wiki kebetinashi. Viva pure, German.
I got her doing. I want her to do the mixology career, since she was already a mixologist to start with.
Bena. Ha! Aha! Ha! Yoronga!
Well, that's different.
Smind. Quaver! Huh. Uh-huh.
So we've already had her. She went to the restaurant once. Nancy Landgrab
Yibs.
asked her to lunch or dinner. Trying to hire her for a newspaper, but Nancy was like beating around the bush too much with, what the job was and, what's the pay, what's the, what are you trying to offer me, and, Nancy kept trying to make promises and things like that instead of saying what the job was, and, Jocelyn just basically was like, look, thanks for the offer, thanks for the meal, but I don't think I'm right for whatever it is you're trying to offer me. I mean, keep in mind that Jocelyn's getting paid 2 salaries. So unless one of these other employers wants to pay her more than that, it'd be hard to get her to get away from here. If she, if the money is what she's after.
Quiver. Uh-huh.
She goes wearing one of these ridiculous. It's not a ridiculous outfit. It's just the fact that they put this stupid blindfold on. Cool. Nice to hear that, Mikey. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Dear Glamour. So never. Yeah, you
Oh, that's right. We got her a new job.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Hmm. Zashel. Oh. Bean Koya.
Okay, we figured that one out. We're not working today.
Hmm. Hmm. Huh. Huh? Hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So after all that, now you're trying to play it? Yeah. Hey, what are you doing? Buddy, what are you doing? Can you... Oh, man. Can you just settle down, bud? Calm down. If you're gonna do that, do it over the plate. Is there something she can do on the other thing? Yeah, one of them. Okay. Why are you going down there to do this? Huh, interesting. Well, let's get one of those down here then.
Chibi Sabafa, Tankubu Wisub,
Yeah, Dankubu
Shabby
Witsu.
Rifna Yaba Horn,
Yeah, Yaba Horn.
Brody Baba Neff, Lurba to Scoob,
Lurba to Scoob.
Bingo. King of Thorn
You need to Lurba to Scoob.
Saquinario, Chiba Alabar, Gaba Gaba Pomeragwas, Confulibo, Kenkuya Slackum, Okanshiba Lava.
I agree.
Sepane Jiffa, Ya Prody, Urabel Vinva, Lurby to Scoob, Baribi, Damse Rahana, Kana Shuna, Alfonso Prody, Yama Kalu, Zarzuya Arfanaya. Oh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. Befite Shamagra. Bifito. Bombzoid Dimpish. Venosa Watanabe? Zapula.
Cool.
Ah. Uh-huh. Oren Barawa.
I don't know if I fell asleep or not, but if I did, sorry about that. It happens.
Shimba. Huh.
Good.
Uh-huh. Bah. Huh.
Settle down, buddy. Settle down. All right. So something's about to happen. I'm not sure what yet. She's either gonna go to dinner again, or a meeting's gonna happen, or something. Buddy, can you please lay down? You know, I asked you. Do you remember? Okay? When I ended the video, I asked you if you wanted to go, and you just ignored me. I think I moved them here from San Sequoia. Oh, that's right. I moved Marcus in with her. Lay down. Okay, I'm trying to figure out if that's the problem. When I create these characters and then you know I forget what I'm. I don't know if Benjamin Lloyd was the guy that was running this modeling agency or not. Oh well, I'd almost have to go back to that episode and figure out when I was making him. Apparently he's into animals. Well, that would be an interesting twist. If he is the guy that used to work for Star Echelon Modeling, what if he sees Jocelyn and she's out like wearing one of her new outfits or something, and what if he's trying to get her to be a model? I mean, that's a twist I wasn't thinking about. Here I was focusing on the fact that she's wanted for her running the magazine stuff, but at the same time she's been doing all this, gussying herself up. What if suddenly somebody's taking an interest in that? Here, let's move him out, because that's who it's. Whether he's the guy from that one or a new one, that's who he's gonna be. He's a sleazeball. Yeah. This is a, I didn't build this. This is, a YouTuber named, Emma Nicole. Where the hell is she? Oh, no, it's Eliandra. Am I not following her? Well, go to the house thingy that you downloaded. Why was I not seeing her on the thing? Maybe we're not friends? I don't know. Anyway, I downloaded her sim. Early on, when I first started this, back in January, on her YouTube page, she does these. Excuse me. Here's 5 ideas for playing as a modeling career. 5 ideas for being a singer. You have to kind of pretend some of the stuff if you're not using mods. Or she'll show some mods. But it kind of jump started me into doing this whole thing. Watching one of her videos like that. I'm doing this without any mods. I don't have any mods or custom content. Even it's 5 months later, I'm still not using it. The only thing I've done is I currently have all the packs. I didn't have all the packs back then. But, this channel here. Unique careers, that's the one. 6 businesses to try, fashion careers. Again, a lot of it is you got to pretend some of the stuff because you can't actually do it. But now I'm not doing this for anybody to necessarily click on this and leave me right now, but if you must, you must. If you must. Or just, she helped me get this started by posting what she posted. And I like to give back, so. But this is the building she made. And she's got a couple of videos about, like every set. She did like 3 different videos on how she built each of these sections. It's basically supposed to be like 3 different apartments. One's for like the fashion designer person here, one's doing something else, and one's doing a different career. Yeah, like this is a modeling thing up here. I think what we'll do is we'll do that. I don't remember if this was supposed to be a apartment building or not, like this for the rent thing, but I'm just now learning how to do this because I made an apartment building for Beth to use. So it's one way for me to move that sleazeball into the loft thing over there. And you can be using that as his office to try to lure her into being a model over there. Well, anyway. And then I'll move them in there. Come on. God damn it. That probably did not get saved. No, it is kind of getting a little bit late tonight, so... I mean, I realize it's only been 2 hours for this particular episode, but I'm not going to go too much longer. But I do, now that I've come up with this, I'd like to at least set it up. I mean, I hadn't even thought about this. I'm intrigued by this now, because that, you know, I hadn't even thought about this kind of an angle. I mean, she is still, she's just like, you know, like probably about 22 years old right now. There's Emma over there. I moved her into the household that runs the Shades Cosmetics company over here. One of these is Shades Cosmetics, and the other is the Shades Cosmetics Animal Adoption Foundation, because they've never tested on animals, and then they also work to like rescue and adopt them out and stuff. All right, let's well, let's really quick go and see what's going on here. Because did we move them out or not? No, we didn't. Yeah, it's like if I didn't name the guy before, then it don't really matter if it's the same guy or not. But you know, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just this guy is a sleazeball trying to lure people to his apartment. That's the front porch, dummy. Dog, you need to stop. I've just about enough of these dogs. I don't usually take care of the dog upstairs. Well, the dogs upstairs. Look, the one who's up there, the golden retriever, is always at some point in the middle of the night, he starts barking his damn head off, and usually somebody from up there lets him out. I've already been letting him in and out all frickin' night, and I'm not going up there to let him out again. At least not unless until after I end this video. Okay, so what's it like living here? Oh, it's a ladder. Yeah, nothing shady about that.
Skilly. Oh, Scourge Greebsta. Will, Kavina Renix, chopped away. Finib Schwade, Yibs. Deul Sibda. Will, Kavina Renix, chopped away. Boona, Tokibu. Huh? Growl. What's up? Yibs, yibs, yibs. Yif, yif, zagu. The North, Flumi Wame. Aga, Fineb Schwade. Doby, Vimpa Schema. Yibs?
Alright, who else we gonna have living here?
Draz Vumpa.
I gotta have somebody holding the spot in order to move him in and out.
Weasel Babid.
Alright, sleazebag, who you got living with you?
Ooh.
Beatrice Ullbright.
Piece of Wallacay? How old are you? Young adult.
Oh.
Maybe he duped you into being his secretary. Type thing.
Ah. Ah.
Or maybe you're... Maybe like you're some... Excuse me. You're like a... You want to be like a wardrobe stylist or a makeup artist or something like that. And he conned you into coming to work for him so you can kind of freelance and, quote, build your portfolio by working on his models.
Ah. know. Huh. Pasta!
Okay, I have no clue what that actually means, but it kind of, I'm looking for something where she's clueless. She's so focused on what she wants to achieve that she doesn't realize the situation she's getting herself into. Then again, he might not actually have brought anybody back to the apartment yet.
Hmm. Yeah, boy. Huh. Nevorf! Oh, Unga. Lobo. Ah, yes.
No, that makes you look too much like frickin' May, the, or Jocelyn's mom. What is your current hair underneath there? Is that what you've got? Okay, I want you to wear that hat because I like the hat, but okay, it's this thing here, that hat.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
All right, that works.
Oh. Ah. Hmm. Huh. Ishi. Huh. Banu? Ah. Kuosa? Huh. Aya. Haha. Lucas!
Okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave that. You know, as long as she's in there with him. I'm gonna leave it on Willow Creek here. Actually, I'll go like this. 'Cause I want to remember that I was going to do this. So yeah, this will be good. And we've already got a potential model showing up already.
Niara.
Okay. Yeah. It's an interesting storyline to go for. I mean, it's part of the fashion world. You know, the bottom feeders. Alrighty. So that's gonna set it up for tomorrow night. Let's see, I'm doing 12 to 8, so most likely I'll be getting on around 10 o'clock. I'm not gonna be able to do a very late stream tomorrow night because I have to work at 8 o'clock the next day. So we'll see what happens, but yeah. That's the next storyline is this sleazeball is gonna try to get Jocelyn to be a model for him. So, thank you to those who are currently watching, whether it is now or in the future. Thank you to those who were watching the earlier stream. We've got about 14 or so hours worth of streams for today. You know, yesterday and today so far. And thanks for any likes that anybody gave. And somebody subscribed recently because it said I had one more. You know, so thanks for all of that. And hope everybody's enjoying whatever parts they are watching. And as I keep mentioning, I have no plans to stop this anytime soon. Now, I bought Inzoi and Hairdresser Simulator and news tower. Those are things that if I go to play those, they will be part of this story. They'll be for, example is that they have a firefighter career in Enjoy. I will try that out by making a character that looks like Amanda Summers, who I already have in Sims here, as a firefighter. And that will be a supplement to her story. A way to do a firefighter career, just to see what it's like. But I'm not ready to do that yet. I don't even know if my computer will handle that game yet. We will find out together when I do load up Enjoy for the first time ever. And then we'll find out, and it'll either be fine or it won't be. Anyway, thanks for everything, and hope everybody has a good night and a good day. And I hope to see you all in the next one, whichever your next one is. Until then, bye-bye for now.